Hi guys, this is Rex Anderson with Old Guys and New Guitars. Welcome. We have kind of a special video today. Valerie and I just got back from a cruise down the coast of Mexico and up into the Sea of Cortez on something called the JoCo Cruise. And this is actually our fifth time going on this cruise over the last 10 years. I remember the first cruise that we went, we walked into our stateroom and there were two blue ukuleles waiting for us. I said, something's going to be very different about this cruise. And that's exactly the case. This is an amazing group of people that put this together. They take over a full ship. I think there's somewhere in the 2,100 to 2,200 people, and they literally take over every space that's available on that ship. And the types of people that come onto this ship are scientists, teachers, physicists, writers, filmmakers, YouTubers, podcasters, musicians, comedians, game designers, just a wide range of people on this trip, on this cruise, which has always been fascinating. As a matter of fact, this time we went to several different seminars. One I went to was on the DART project, where one of the physicists that was involved with that project talked about how that rolled out. That was where they shot an explosive up into space to have it interact with an asteroid to see if they could affect the velocity. So that was really fascinating. I also, we got to meet with a game designer who had actually designed a game called Riftbound that I happen to have been playing for the last year and a half or so. And so it was really cool to talk with him, talk about his design, and he invited us to do a couple of events there. In addition to that, we went to a seminar on, it was some readings from J.R.R. Tolkien from Lord of the Rings, where people would get up and read particular passages. And it was just really fun, really emotional. There are so many different types of people. It's such a diverse crowd on this ship. And not only do they have all these different seminars and programs you can go to, they also have something called a shadow cruise where all the guests themselves create content and programs to go to. So there's never a time when there's not something going on that you can go and learn and have fun or enjoy. And the length of the cruise is about a week long, but at one of the stops in the town of Loretto, they actually set up a full stage and bring all the musicians and guests into the stage and do a concert that day. And so that was a lot of fun going out to that stop and hearing some really great music. So in addition to all these activities and things going on, Valerie and I, of course, try to stay fit as we can. And so we were, trying to do our 5K around the deck every day to keep some exercise or go up to the gym and use some of the machines they have. But in between time, one of the fun things about this cruise is there's a full game library there. And so one of the restaurants is turned into a gaming room where you can invite other people to join in games with you and also play games really all over the ship. So there's that side of it going. So the one of the things I wanted to do this year was interview a couple of the musicians that we'd seen over the years. And this first interview in today's show features a gentleman by the name of Jim Boggia. And Jim is just a fantastic guitar player, really wonderful performer, does a lot of solo stuff, and also performs with the band on the full band when they're playing on the ship. I just think you'll find it interesting. I did have a chance to kind of explain to him what our show is about, how we take an instrument and put it in the hands of a studio musician, in most cases our friend Kerry Jackson, to open it up and react to, talk about, and see where the music takes him. So I had a chance to kind of explain that to Jim, and that's what we have today. I'm going to do a little bit of an interview with him, give you some idea of his background, and then we're going to present him with an instrument that I brought along and see how he reacts to it. So anyway, a little bit different for us today. I hope you enjoy the video. I certainly enjoyed doing the interview. So we'll go to the interview. But before we get started with that kind of a concept, I want to just ask Jim a couple of questions about his background, because some of you may not have been aware of him. We're so aware now with our fifth JoCo Cruise. So,
Yes,
so we've had the pleasure of watching you play. And we just watched you play an acoustic set last night, which is really wonderful in town. So Jim, you'd mentioned before that you're from Philadelphia. Tell us a little bit about your background in music.
Yeah, well, I grew up in Michigan. I've been in Philly since like '87. And I started singing apparently when I was 2. I sang a song called Hanky Panky by Tommy James and the Shondells,
Oh yeah.
which is a song that in Michigan was a regional hit when I was 1 year old, and then they re-released it as a national hit, and it's very, very repetitive. So I think it just got in my brain, and so I was a little 2-year-old going, "My baby does the hanky panky." And that was, kind of the start of it. My aunts and uncles would buy me 45s,
Yeah.
and they'd say, "Okay, Jimmy, maybe you sing this one the next time." And and then when I was 4, I got "Hey Jude" Revolution by the Beatles.
Oh man.
And that just kind of, it was off to the races from there. And then I started playing guitar when I was maybe 5.
Wow.
And I had a couple of years at classical lessons, and we moved to the middle of nowhere, and have just been basically self-taught since then.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been doing music full time now for about the last 30 years or so.
Nice.
And yeah.
Did you come up playing in bands or doing it solo primarily, or what?
I primarily have played solo. In maybe the last 10 years or so, I've started playing more with bands.
Oh, okay.
But certainly probably the first 20 years of my solo career was very solo.
Oh, okay.
It was me with just an acoustic on stage. Or later on, I graduated to the ukulele.
Oh,
and
nice.
I was doing some ukulele shows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so sort of solo acoustic is a thing that's very familiar to me, and that's probably what I play the most.
Where's your comfort zone?
Yeah,
exactly. Kind of doing that.
Exactly.
Oh, that's nice. What I'll ask you first is, tell me about a couple of your guitars, the ones that kind of had if you've got a story with them or had the biggest impact you, maybe starting with the acoustic guitar. You were playing kind of a small body Gibson last night.
Yeah, I have a Gibson Nick Lucas that's a reissue. I think it was the 2001 reissue. And that is my beloved. That's the guitar where you find the guitar that you realize, this is the guitar I'm supposed to be playing for the rest of my life. And it was a fluke. I had a show in Los Angeles, and I forgot my guitar strap. And I went down to Guitar Center on
in Hollywood there?
Yeah, Sunset on Sunset. And I'd been looking for a small-bodied Gibson for a long time. I've always loved small-bodied Gibsons. And they had 3 of these Nick Lucases sitting there. And I picked up the first one, and I played it for about 10 minutes, and it was really nice. Then I picked up the second one, and then I looked up, and it was about an hour later. And I was like, oh, there's something going on with this. And then I thought, well, I suppose I should pick up the third one. And I picked it up and I played one chord, and I went back to the second one. And, I was not intending on buying a guitar. I did not have the money to buy a guitar, but we know how this works. When you find the guitar and you don't have the money, you get the guitar.
Wow.
And it has really been my workhorse. And it's, the guitar that when I play that guitar, I feel like, oh, this is how I play. It is the most responsive. Like, it's a very nice guitar, but it's not the nicest guitar in the world. But for me, it plays exactly everything I ask of it. It's there.
Nice.
It has had 5 Gibson headstock snaps.
Wow.
Where in fact, last year on JoCo Cruise, I came and it got snapped on the cruise, and so I was playing Jonathan Colton's Martin, which is a very nice guitar, but again, it's like
just wasn't the same.
Just not my guitar.
Yeah.
And how do I react to it emotionally?
Yeah.
Well,
whatever pickups you have in there were really nice.
I do know. I used to have a Fishman or whatever, and it was all right. And then I was making my second album in, I think, 2005, and Julian Coriel, who's a brilliant guitarist and producer, he's Larry Coriel's son.
Okay.
He said, that Gibson, he's like, you should get that K&K Sound guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, great. And then I looked it up, and it was like $100. I'm like, really? Like, it's $100. He's like, put that in it. And my God, it has this massive, beautiful, warm low end. So it's really full. and the top end is clear, but it's not sharp. You know, it's got a nice roundness to it. It sounds like the guitar. You know,
it's funny
it's a
because those
beautiful.
those K&Ks seem to work with certain guitars. So that's your go-to acoustic guitar. What about on the electric side? What when you're asked to step into a band, a studio musician will ask them, you know, what guitars do you take when you don't quite know what you're going to be facing? And people have always a different response to that.
Yeah, my main electric now is a parts caster. It's a Telecaster.
Oh, nice.
That's made from Mighty Mite parts. A friend put it together for me. It's like, here, you need this. It's like, oh, thank you. And I really did, because I used to have a Mexican-made Telecaster, you know, Fender Telecaster, and it was really nice. And you know, we all have these stories. The guitar you sold that you regret after you sold it. And the funny thing is, I sold it to my friend, Pete Donnelly, who plays in a band called The Figs. He was in NRBQ for a while. He's great. And, you know, he's my friend, and I sold it to him. And then he played it for a while. And then he got a casino.
Okay.
And he started playing the casino. And I was really missing that Telecaster, and I was like, Pete, I think I made a mistake. I think I need you to sell the Telecaster back to me. It's like, you know, I'll give you, you know, some extra money for it. It's like, and he has a daughter, Taylor, who's you know, starting to play. He's like, no, I gave it to Taylor. Taylor loves it. It's like, oh. So, you know, for a couple of years, then I was just bitching and moaning about like, oh, I shouldn't have sold that Telecaster. I shouldn't have sold that Telecaster. So then my friend one day, you know, is just like, I'm tired of hearing you complain. It's like, here's a Telecaster. And so that's my main, and, you know, I like the Telecasters for, if you can only have one electric, it's a very versatile, you know, it has a lot of range in it, and it does all the meat and potatoes stuff, which is generally what I'm doing in a electric context with a band.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the
Yeah.
I'm not that guy.
That guy.
Even though I have the hair, you would think you would think I could be that guy.
What color is your Telecaster?
It is it's brown, but it's it's almost like an orangish brown, and it's got a lot of
like a burst
small.
on it?
No, not it's striped like a you know, flaming.
Oh yeah.
But it's very thin, so it's really beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and nice. And you know, and again, you'll ask me what wood, and I don't know. It's the wood that's there.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do here is I'm going to hand you an instrument.
Great.
And I'm going to, I'll just have you react to it. And then I'm going to plug it into this little recorder we have here so I can get a direct recording of it. And this will also get a recording of it. If just take it wherever it takes you. If you lean toward original stuff, that's always good. I don't have to worry about copyright strikes.
Right.
That kind of stuff. But we'll take this. Now, I really debated whether to bring, I've got a headless, it was called a Hills guitar, which I thought about bringing, but it's just a bit longer than this. So this instrument I brought, you may have seen.
This one fits in the overhead.
Yeah, you may have seen this one, but I think you know, as a guitar player, you'll connect to it. First of all, it's starting with this right down here.
Okay.
It's got a little Fender logo on it for those that didn't see the case there.
Let's.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. This is a trick. Yes. Well, I do play some ukulele.
Yeah.
And
so this is a Fender-made ukulele. It's got the traditional Fender headstock on it.
Yep, I love that.
See. So a little bit about this guitar. This is a Fender-made guitar. This is a ukulele. It's a Fender-made ukulele. It does have a pickup system in it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And this is a Dhani Harrison signature model.
Right.
So now you get that on the back.
Yeah, that's
maybe
beautiful.
Show that to the camera. Isn't that
beautiful.
Nice? The little face in there.
Oh, little face.
Yeah.
And and the inlays are all really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're a fan of the Beatles, then you know that George was a big ukulele guy.
Indeed, yeah, he's almost single-handedly started the ukulele revival.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is nice.
Yeah. So feel free to just play and then comment on it. If you stop every now and then, just comment what you're seeing and what you're hearing and feeling.
Sure.
We're here in a ship that's a little bit noisy. We've got some noise in the background right now, but I'm hearing it about 1.5 feet away, so I can hear what he plays acoustically.
So what I like about it is it's got a really nice balanced, the tone is really balanced. It's not plunky. Ukuleles can get plunky.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. There we go. And also, one of the things with ukuleles, it's getting better, but for so many years they were mostly like toys. That if you got past first position, they just had no intonation at all, and this plays beautifully, and I mean that's perfectly in. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, not too bad of being fairly close and at the same volumes too.
Exactly, and so I mean the intonation on this is beautiful, and
now I haven't done a setup on it. I never have.
I don't think you need
for
to.
A couple of years, but it seems pretty good the way it is.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, even there you can get.
Yeah, there it is.
How many?
Let me ask you a question. Not being a ukulele player, I picked up these on a recommendation. Have you ever used those?
I haven't.
Yeah, it's kind of a soft pick.
Yeah.
That's supposed to give it a little different tone, as opposed to that clicky that you'll get with a
right, exactly. Yeah, because that can be a real problem with the nylon strings.
Yeah, kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of different tone with it too.
Yeah. I like that they give you this little grippy hole.
Yeah.
So that you have a. For me, ukulele is much more a finger style. Kind of thing.
As opposed to picking.
Yeah. I think it was 2009. I was in New York somewhere, staying with a friend. And they didn't have a guitar. I usually find the guitar in the house and, noodle a little bit. And he didn't have a guitar, but he had a ukulele. And, I'd goofed around with ukuleles in the past, but for whatever reason, I sat down with it. And my beginning on guitar, when I was 5, I had a couple of years of classical guitar lessons.
Yeah.
And my hands were so small that, and of course, classical guitar has a wider neck. So, the combination of those two things, for the first year, I could only play the top few strings. So when I picked up a ukulele, it just all of a sudden it felt, it's like, 4 strings, nylon strings, and then just kind of clicked in my head. It's like, I know what I can do with this. And then I got really, for probably 10 years, I maybe played more uke than I played guitar. I really went heavy into it. Wound up like opening shows for Jake Shimabukuro.
Oh, really?
I got real into it. Now I have a nerve issue with my left hand. And
so the small
some of the small stuff is difficult, but I still love it. And so let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can get something in before we have to abandon ship.
Bloody Mary. Yes,
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dreams, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star as dreams she brings to those who love the sweet fulfillment of their secret love. Look out of the blue, suddenly it comes to you.
I know what I'm doing. You know, I know why.
Upon a star, a dream.
I did actually. I had some pretty bad neck pain earlier.
True.
Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
fun.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. Really nice. Good
Yeah.
job, Danny. Good job.
Yeah. So before we end the video, tell people what kind of current projects you have going on, or anything that you want to talk about for recordings or gigs and that kind of thing.
Sure. Well, you know, I play around a little bit under my own name, Jim Boggia, Boggia. I'm just joining a band called the Fab Four that plays a bunch of Beatle stuff. So I'm going to be playing bass in that.
Are you really? I've heard of that band before.
Yeah. I'm actually replacing Will Lee.
Okay.
Was in the band. It started the band 28 years ago. He's living in France now and doing some other things. So I'm stepping in there. I've got a band called the 60s Show that plays 60s music.
Nice.
And then whatever you need, give me a call.
Well, my partner on this show his name is Kerry Jackson, and he plays in a show called the Lennon Legacy.
Oh yeah.
And it's all John Lennon songs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's so nice hearing songs from those last couple of albums that were released at Postmortem.
Right.
And because we don't hear full bands play those songs.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that Valerie and I went to that show just a couple weeks ago, and really fun to do that. So Terry will get a kick out of the fact that you're playing bass.
Yeah.
In this, and because he is a huge Beatles fan in terms of all the different parts.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean they are my musical home.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, thank you very much for taking
of course,
a few minutes
this
of your time
out
of the schedule and giving us your reaction.
So I don't get to keep it, right?
that one you don't get.
Okay. All right. Well, fair enough.
But we do appreciate
this. Is an outrage.
We will give you something. This is an album that we put out a couple of years ago, and the primary album was put out in vinyl, because we all love vinyl.
Yeah,
but this features my partner in this show, Kerry Jackson, is all over this record.
Wonderful.
I
look forward
on the guitar,
to hearing it.
And our little Big for His Age guitar pick for you.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Absolutely. My
really
pleasure. Yeah, this was fantastic. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, thanks for taking the time to do that.
Abandon ship.
Listen, it's your podcast, but if it was mine, abandon ship would be the thing I would edit in at the very end.
Yeah.